everyone. Welcome once again to our Creative Mondays, where we are discussing topics to help you grow from a media perspective, bring awareness to what is going on in regards to the marketing world, some brands, and more than anything, help you grow. Feel free to ask questions as today's presentation is being developed. Let me take this off. I sound weird. But looks like our volume's really good for today. Thank you for joining. I see some of you are connecting. Feel free to hit the share button. Like Ethan said, share with whoever you think is going to benefit out of this. I know over the weekend I had a lot of people message me and mention the huge benefit they're getting out of this. And it's good to know that this content is being really helpful and beneficial to your church, your departments, your ministries, and even people that are starting to develop a small ministry within a church, and people that are taking this information for other aspects of their life. This information is free for all of you to share. And again, like I said, presentations stay here for 7 days. So right after this one is done, the one from last week will be deleted and it will be archived. So I hope you all got to catch up on last week's presentation, and I hope you all got to see the one before that. So like I mentioned, these presentations are short, 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops. So I like to get straight to the point. I know Mondays are exciting because they're the beginning of the week, and a lot of us are here doing some planning, but it's also a good way to, wake up the brain and get whatever you learned here, whatever you can take from here. And it's, how can you use that information that you learned here? How can you implement it during the week and even during the weekend? So let me know how things are going for you. I want to hear back from you. I want to know, because all I see is numbers. All I see is there's 10 people watching. I don't know who you are. Please let me know who you are. Say hi. Again, I know some of you come up to me and tell me you watch. I really appreciate that, because this content has a lot of value. There's people out there charging crazy amount of money for information that it's here for free. So we're going to get to today's topic. And like I said, first week we talked about the differences, the two types of marketing, direct marketing and brand marketing, and how they go hand in hand. Last week we went a little more into are you creative and how to solve creative problem solving and how to approach situations in different ways. Today we're going to talk about the importance of storytelling and the future of storytelling and why that is important. I think one of the most important stories that we all know, that who does not know this story? I think it's, not that I know. Like I said, today's presentation, the importance of storytelling, and what is the most important and impactful story ever told. What do you guys think? I know some of you are watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think is the most important and impactful story ever told in human history that we know of today? I know we might have different opinions, but I know from my perspective, any takers out there? Anybody? I will share with you so we can move on. The most important story is the story of Jesus, and who does not know the story of Jesus? And it is not just because we have the Gospels that tell us the story. They narrate the journey of Jesus here on earth. And it's not just one small narration of the story. It's a whole journey of the story. The disciples were there. I can imagine them having a journal or something and just writing down all these ideas. Eventually they went and wrote the Gospels, and this story now is probably the biggest story ever told in the world. So I want to point something out before we get into our topic. Something that I do want to clarify is, what is the difference between telling a story and narrating a story? What does it mean to narrate a story, and what does it mean to tell a story? The most important thing that you need to know about this is Sorry, I should have grabbed some water today. Telling and narrating your story. When you tell your story, most people tell their stories, and it's a one-time thing. You know, I just go and tell you about who I am, or make a video, or share it once, and that's the end of that. When you are narrating a story, you are taking people on a journey. Now, I want to ask you this question. Are you telling the story of your church, or of your entity, of your department, of your ministry, or are you narrating the story? You know, is it a one-time thing that you tell people and then that's it? Or are you continuously taking people on the journey of, this is who we are, this is how far we've come, here are the things we're doing in our community, here's the steps of our growth? And that's the biggest thing I want to leave you with today. Here's today's golden nugget. Don't just tell your story, narrate your story. Because if you're just telling your story, it's a one-time thing. If you're narrating your story, you're taking people on the journey of who you are. Who is this church? Who is this entity? Who is this brand? Who is this department? Take us on the journey, because we humans are curious and we want to know stories. Since the early days of human nature and human existence, stories have been told, and they've been passed on by generations and generations. So tell and narrate your story. That's the biggest thing. And by narrating your story, your community can follow the journey and become part of it if they feel the connection with your mission. So again, this goes into marketing. This goes into building that brand. Does your community know who you are? The best way for them to know who you are is by telling the story. And not just tell it once, but narrate it. Bring them along on the journey. Document. I'm a lover for documenting. If you followed me on social media, you know I will tell you why I've stopped posting stories on another presentation. But I would always post stories, and I was always telling the story of me and Delia, because this is who we are, and I'm come from a background of photojournalism. So journalism, documenting, that's a passion of mine, and I see that that's becoming a huge thing in a lot of organizations, a lot of big brands, a lot of big companies. Now, how can you do that at the local level, in your church, in your ministry? Take us on that journey. Tell us who you are, what is this journey you're going on, and therefore people will ask, how can I be part of this journey? How can I help you on your journey? So that is one of the biggest things. Like I said, that's the golden nugget for today. Golden nugget within the first 10 minutes of today's presentation. So now I want to move on to another huge thing, the second biggest nugget of today, which is storytelling as the future of the search engine. What do search engines, social media, and storytelling have in common? That is what I'm about to tell you in the next 5 minutes, and then I will let you take that information, let you digest it, let your brains work with it, take it home, and develop it during this week, because I feel like every presentation we make, it's a challenge. Are you implementing these things? Because one thing, I had somebody I talked to this weekend that has been watching our presentations. They said one thing is just to listen to them, another thing is to take action. And I want you all to take action. And most of these things are things that you can take action as of like right now. You can take action at the end of this presentation. You don't have to wait 6 months. You don't have to wait till next year. You don't have to build a platform. You can take action now. So the future of storytelling, and this is what you all came for, because that's the name of our presentation, the future of storytelling. As you are, this thing's itching. As you are telling the story, narrating the story, taking your followers through the journey, not only are you bringing people along on the journey, but you're building the future of the search engine. Let's rewind to 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if I wanted to find the best tacos in Federal Way, Washington, or Seattle, most likely I would go on Google and type top 10 taco stands in Seattle or wherever you are, Miami, LA. So that was the search engine. That was Google, Yahoo, and some of the older ones out there, if you can remember them, but we all know Google for sure. So that was what we used to do. But as social media, as technology has evolved, as we are all telling our stories, storytelling and search engine are no longer just in words. SEO is no longer just keywords. SEO is no longer just blogging and writing. Excuse me. SEO is the content you are creating, because now, and I'll talk for myself, last time we traveled out to Denver with Delia for a convention, we were in Denver and we wanted donuts and coffee. So we did not go on Google to look top donuts and coffee in Denver. We went on TikTok and we searched donuts, hashtag Denver. And we started scrolling and we watched videos and we watched people's stories. We watched coffee shop stories and we're like, that looks pleasing. That looks good. I see people are going there, therefore I want to go there. If your church, if your department, if your ministry is telling the story and putting that out there, narrating the story, the moment people search for church in Seattle, is your church going to pop up? Because data shows, and this was recently published, there's articles out there, it's data, it's real. Google knows they have a competitor. Google knows they're not the leaders. They still are the leaders of searching, but there's competition out there. And that competition is coming from video platforms. People now go to YouTube. Instead of going to Google to search how to do an oil change, I go to YouTube and search how to do an oil change. When I'm searching for food options, when I'm searching for entertainment, when I'm searching for other things, most likely I'm going to TikTok. Most likely I'm going to Reels, even though Reels, Instagram, they're still not pushing it. Instagram's still trying to play catch up and bring entertainment. They're not bringing these other aspects. But if you are telling your story and narrating and bringing awareness of who you are through social media, people will find you and people will come to you if they feel that connection to your mission, to your vision, to what you are doing in your community. So that's what I want to leave you with. The future of the search engine is video platforms. The future of the search engine, I repeat, is video platforms. Yes, your website will still be out there. Yes, Google is not going to go anywhere. But as future generations, as millennials, as Gen Zs, as Gen Alphas are searching for things, they are searching in other networks. I remember I used to search on Facebook. That's a thing of the past. Facebook also became a search engine up to a point. You search for communities. You search for people that had interest in what you were doing. Now we're shifting to other platforms. And those shifts will always happen. No matter what, the shift will always be there. There will always be another social platform. There will always be the future. In our next presentation, we're going to talk about how technology and media are shifting in our next and upcoming generations, and what can we do to prepare for that. How are Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, what are the tools that they are using to search for things? What are things that they are starting to use that big corporations are already doing research on? And I will share this research with you. And if you have this research, you can be at the forefront of this technology and these findings. And this is what's going to help you reach people out there with your church, your department, whatever you are up to, whatever your personal brand is up to. These tools will help you reach those people. So this is something I've been really pushing some of our churches to do and to think about. Maybe not do it, but think about it. Build a strategy. Tell your story via these platforms. Because the moment people search for church on TikTok or Instagram, what are they going to find? Are they just going to find a bulletin and announcements, or are they going to see you being a church in action in the community? Because if I see a church that is doing community service, maybe a homeless ministry, feeding our community, involved with children, those are all things that attract me personally. Therefore, I'm going to want to go to that church. This new world, this new search thing that is happening is no longer just words and pictures. It is now through video. And we are visual beings. We like to see. That's why these platforms have just exploded and have taken off, and because we are visual individuals. So that's what I want to leave you with today. And my time is up. As promised, 20 to 25 minutes. I hope you caught the nuggets. I hope you took notes, because this is fast. I am dropping the concentrated information on your lap. Now I want you to digest it. I want you to think about it. I want you to ask questions. Does anybody have questions, actually? I see some people watching. Do any of you have questions today? Is this too much for you? Are you still trying to digest it? Are you still trying to figure out what is he even talking about? And I know some of these things might be a little too much, but this is the reality of the future of our platforms. And I want you all to start preparing for these things. I want you to stay at the forefront of what is to come and where we need to be, because the world is changing really fast. And the world we knew 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is no longer there anymore. We are in a new era. Yes, there's still things that still work. Websites are still useful. Facebook is still useful, but there's new strategies that are being built. And what better way for you to grab those new strategies and add them to your toolbox? So I want you all to take this, think about it. Let me know if you have questions. As always, feel free to send me a DM. Talk to me in person. If you're a department here in the office, come talk to me. If you're a pastor, come. Let's go have lunch. I would love to take you off to lunch, and we can keep talking about this and building these strategies, because I want you all to succeed out there. I want you all to make a great impact in your communities, and for the communities to know who we are, and for the communities to know who you are and what you're doing out there. So that is the end of today. Next week's presentation, which is the last one of our first set. I know